Welcome to Global Watch. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In May 2025, a freight train from Xi'an, China, arrived at Iran's Apron dry port, marking a historic milestone in the evolution of Eurasian connectivity. This event signaled the inauguration of a direct rail link between two of the region's most influential powers, China and Iran, forging a new path for commerce and cooperation across the continent. The 15-day journey, which dramatically reduces the time required for goods to travel between East Asia and the Middle East, is more than just a logistical achievement. It represents the rebirth of the ancient Silk Road in a modern, high-speed form, an iron Silk Road that is rapidly becoming a vital artery for trade, investment, and diplomacy. This corridor is poised to challenge the established global order, offering new opportunities and shifting the balance of power. As a flagship project of China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, the railway provides a secure, land-based alternative to maritime routes that have long been vulnerable to geopolitical tensions and Western naval dominance. It's a bold move to diversify trade and reduce reliance on traditional sea lanes. For China, this new rail link is a strategic asset. It ensures the steady flow of exports and secures vital energy imports, all while circumventing choke points that could be threatened by American or allied naval forces. The route strengthens China's economic resilience and global reach. For Iran, the railway is nothing short of an economic lifeline. It offers a way to bypass crippling Western sanctions, opening new markets, and attracting investment from partners eager to tap into Iran's strategic location and resources. But the significance of this railway extends far beyond logistics. It is a calculated geopolitical maneuver designed to foster new alliances, deepen regional integration, and reshape the very foundations of global trade. With Iran and Turkey now synchronizing their rail networks, a seamless corridor is emerging. One that stretches from the industrial heartlands of China, through Central Asia and Russia, all the way to the markets of Europe. This transcontinental route is set to transform the economic landscape for dozens of countries along its path. The era of unchallenged Western control over global trade routes is drawing to a close, as new corridors and partnerships redefine the future of international commerce. The China-Iran partnership is rooted in centuries of Silk Road history, where merchants, scholars, and diplomats once traversed vast deserts and mountains, exchanging not only goods but also ideas, culture, and technology. This ancient connection laid the groundwork for a relationship that has endured through empires, revolutions, and shifting global tides. Today, that legacy is revived by a shared desire to break free from Western dominance, a dominance that has shaped the world order for decades, often to the detriment of both nations' ambitions and sovereignty. Both China and Iran, heirs to ancient civilizations that once stood at the center of global affairs, now find themselves sidelined by a system designed to favor others. In response, they have found common cause in building a multipolar world, one where influence is shared, and no single power dictates the rules. Iran's isolation under US sanctions has made China an indispensable partner. Beijing remains a top buyer of Iranian oil, providing Tehran with much-needed revenue and a vital economic lifeline. In return, China secures a steady energy supply and access to a market largely closed to the West. Their 25-year strategic agreement deepens this bond, promising billions in Chinese investment for infrastructure, technology, and energy projects. This long-term pact is more than a business deal. It's a signal of trust and mutual reliance, designed to weather political storms and economic uncertainty. For China, Iran's location is a strategic prize. It offers a secure land bridge to the Middle East and Europe, allowing Chinese goods to bypass vulnerable maritime choke points like the Strait of Malacca and the Suez Canal. This overland route is a cornerstone of China's Belt and Road Initiative. The new rail link is not just a convenience, it's a strategic necessity. As maritime routes grow riskier and more expensive due to piracy, conflict, and political tensions, overland rail offers speed, security, and predictability for both nations' economies. Rail transport is faster than sea, more affordable than air, and less exposed to the shifting winds of geopolitical turmoil. It allows goods to move efficiently across continents, connecting factories, markets, and consumers in ways that were once unimaginable. For both countries, the Iron Silk Road is more than just steel tracks and cargo containers. It's a physical expression of their ambition to redraw the economic map, to create new centers of power and prosperity that reflect their own interests and values. In forging this partnership, China and Iran are mounting a direct challenge to Western leverage over global trade, reshaping the flow of goods, energy, and influence for generations to come. The China-Iran rail link begins in Xi'an, crosses Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, and ends at Iran's Afrin dry port near Tehran. Each border crossing required complex agreements, but a 2025 summit in Tehran streamlined operations for near-seamless transit. The 15-day journey is a dramatic improvement over the 30-40 days by sea, especially for high-value goods. Afrin dry port is now a central hub for distributing cargo across Iran and beyond. The route is the backbone of a growing network, soon to extend into Turkey via a $1.6 billion rail project. This will create an uninterrupted corridor from China to the Mediterranean and Europe. The modern Silk Road is no longer a dream, it's being built in steel and speed. The rail link revolutionizes trade by cutting transit times in half, allowing faster inventory turnover and more responsive supply chains. Businesses benefit from lower storage costs and greater certainty, as rail avoids the volatility and delays of maritime routes. Central Asian countries gain efficient access to the Indian Ocean, boosting their autonomy and opening new markets. Iran's role as a transit hub brings revenue and leverage, fueling its economic revival. The Iran-Turkey rail link will further increase trade volumes and competition, driving down costs. This Eurasian land bridge promises to rival the transatlantic economy in scale and dynamism. The Iron Silk Road is transforming the region into a bustling corridor of growth. The China-Iran rail link is a geopolitical game-changer, cementing a strategic alliance that challenges the US-led order. China's investment puts Iran at the center of the Belt and Road, creating a powerful bloc openly building alternatives to Western governance. Unlike the stalled India-Middle East-Europe corridor, the China-Iran route is operational and expanding, drawing in Turkey and Central Asia. The US can no longer rely on maritime choke points to isolate Iran. The rail link is a sanctions-proof artery. This corridor also complements Russia's north-south transport corridor, forming a vast Eurasian network beyond Western control. The alignment of China, Iran, and Russia creates a counterweight to the West, integrating their economies and strategies. They're not just trading partners, they're building a resilient multipolar economic space. The global chessboard is being reset, and the pieces are moving fast. The new rail link between Iran and China is a direct blow to Western sanctions, providing Iran with a reliable and uninterrupted trade route to one of the world's largest economies. This connection is more than just a transportation project. It's a strategic lifeline that allows Iran to maintain and even expand its economic ties, despite intense international pressure. By bypassing US-controlled sea lanes and financial systems, Iran and China can conduct business on their own terms, free from the threat of naval blockades or banking restrictions that have long hampered Iranian trade. Goods and payments can now move bilaterally, using local currencies or alternative financial systems, which reduces the risk of transactions being frozen or blocked by Western authorities. This shift weakens the power of the US dollar as more trade is settled in yuan or rial, and chips away at the dominance of Western-controlled financial networks. China's commitment to deepening economic ties provides Iran with an economic shield, offering not just trade, but also investment, technology, and diplomatic support. This partnership makes sanctions less effective, enabling Iran to restart factories, create jobs, and gradually recover from years of economic hardship. This bold move signals Beijing's willingness to openly challenge US policy and support its partners, reshaping the global balance of power and alliances. Other sanctioned nations, such as Russia and Venezuela, may look to this model as a blueprint for resisting Western pressure and building alternative trade networks. As more countries join these new corridors, the effectiveness of Western economic pressure could be further eroded, diminishing the leverage of sanctions as a foreign policy tool. For Iran, the steady flow of trade and investment could stabilize its battered economy, strengthen its government, and offer hope to millions of ordinary Iranians. The railway stands as a symbol of confidence and resilience, representing a new era of opportunity and regional integration. It offers a tangible path out of isolation, connecting Iran to new markets and partners across Eurasia. Iran is no longer a pariah on the world stage, but is emerging as a central player in a rapidly evolving global order. As the heart of a thriving Eurasian trade zone, Iran's new rail link could redefine its future and reshape the region's economic landscape. The China-Iran rail link draws in Turkey, Russia, and Central Asia, creating a new regional nexus. Central Asian republics gain direct access to the Persian Gulf, diversifying their trade and boosting sovereignty. Turkey, as the Western anchor, becomes the gateway for Chinese goods into Europe, strengthening its role as a Eurasian power broker. Russia sees the corridor as complementary, integrating it with its own north-south network to bypass Western influence. Together, these countries are building a self-reinforcing economic system less dependent on the West. Their collaboration deepens mutual interests and political ties, making divide-and-rule tactics harder for outsiders. The Iron Silk Road is forging a new reality of regional cooperation and shared destiny. Experts and officials see the Iron Silk Road as both a logistical triumph and a strategic revolution. Iranian leaders emphasize efficiency and Iran's new role as Eurasia's transit hub. Analysts highlight how the rail link undermines U.S. pressure, giving Iran and China greater sovereignty. Turkey's leaders see the corridor as a way to boost their economy and help Iran break free from isolation, while strengthening their own independence. Yet, caution remains. Former President Rouhani warns that regional instability could threaten these gains. The success of these grand projects depends on maintaining peace in a volatile region. The Iron Silk Road offers immense promise, but the risks are real. The world is watching to see if this new order can endure. The China-Iran rail link is just the beginning of a new era in global trade and power. The next milestone is the Iran-Turkey rail connection. Its progress will determine how quickly a true China-to-Europe corridor emerges. Watch for rising trade volumes and the types of goods moving along the route. These numbers will reveal the corridor's real impact. The West's response, especially from the US, will shape the future. Will it escalate pressure or adapt to the new reality? The race with rival corridors, like the India-Middle East-Europe route, is on. The Iron Silk Road is about more than trains. It's about the future of globalization and the rise of a multipolar world. The rumble of freight trains across Eurasia is the sound of history in motion.